Welcome to Los Angeles Trade Technical College, Summer 2014, Architecture 160, Video 1. So, number 1 is Introduction to the class. Where can you find all the information and everything that's happening in our class? So, you're going to Google it after you watch the soccer game, and then you're going to go LATTC Arc 160. This should take you directly to a personal site on Google Sites that I maintain. Correct? This is the umbrella site. I really encourage you guys to spend some time and look at our school of thought, what we are all about, all the different courses we offer. We have a lot of white papers that we have published, and this is where you can find out more about our 2-year degree program here at LA Trade Tech. It has become very reputable in industry and for transferability purposes. So here you're going to go to ARC 160. This is called Computer for Designers. And here you're going to find everything you need to know about the class. Again, this is something I maintain personally, so it has glitches, it has holes, sometimes it has spelling mistakes, because all of this is real time, right, as we're doing it in the classroom. That's the only way that we can have what I call accelerated learning, right? So real time, you can go home and see what we cover in class. A lot of the things that we cover in class right now are cutting edge things happening in the city, happening in industry. So therefore, when you finish my program, you're very desirable in industry. Okay, so that it has advantages and disadvantages, because it's not always all perfectly all clean, but it has the advantage to be real time. So this is kind of the syllabus, the meeting times where you need to submit all your work. Here is basically how can I make more people participate in the built environment. As we all know, the built environment is in crisis for many reasons, shelter, poverty, hunger, name it all. So how whatever we build can make a better living conditions for humanity. So how does the built environment connect to humanity, and how does humanity connect to the natural environment? So there's these three environments, and this class is about how can you utilize all these new tools to make more people participate in the built environment. So what is the built environment? Everything humans do: cities, buildings, highways, parks, schools. That's called the built environment, right? Human built environment. So this is what the class is all about. And how can we use these tools? Just using Google Sites and just using Camtasia is already accelerating our learning and our creativity, because if I didn't have Google Sites and I didn't have Camtasia, you guys couldn't learn as fast. So this is just real time utilizing the tools for you guys to learn more agile and more vivid. So this is kind of in a nutshell. I use MindJet. This is a great mind mapping tool. There's some of them for free, and there's a lot of apps for MindJet. And this is basically Architecture 160, and these are your 6 projects: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is project number 1, right? And each project is going to focus on a specific tool. This is going to be, we're going to be using Autodesk Architecture. The thread among all these different projects is that they're all going to have a tutorial, they're all going to have a creative project, they're all going to have some reading assignments. I'm going to give you some resources. I want you guys to do some hand drawing, and I want you to document how each of you utilize the 15 hours every week, right? For example, my advanced students, this assignment, the first assignment, might only take them 2 hours. Therefore, you guys should read more about it and watch more of the videos, right? So it's very important that this is very time driven. What does it mean for each of you guys to spend 15 hours in this first assignment? And that's, I guess, the trick or the secret sauce of my classroom, that it allows each of you guys to grow individually, right? But of course, it's going to be like bare minimum, everybody should have X, Y, and Z for project A. What I mean X, Y, and Z, everybody should have a composition 3-dimensionally. Now, some of you guys are going to do evolutions or do many compositions. Some of you guys are going to do a lot of reading. Some of you guys are going to be experts on the Faborici series. My curriculum, our curriculum, allows for you guys to have the freedom to be curious, right? And grow in the part that you are the most curious about. And this will make more sense as we move forward. So that's basically the introduction to the class. And video number 2 is going to focus on this first assignment, right? Video number 2. So that's kind of holistically what we're all about. And you can watch more about our School of Thought if you go to YouTube and you Google Professor Marcela Oliva, OER, and then you can understand more about the importance of the study log. Specifically, my advanced students, I want you to get good at it. On this website, here's I have an example. Let me give it here of how a time log will look like. Tutorials, reading, creative projects, collaboration time, lecture. And this is the difference between a factory job, kind of, or a professional job, a blue-collar job. You guys actually need to record what you learn on those 15 hours. Because then later on, when you go and look for a job interview, you say in 15 hours, I was exposed to a complex understanding, I was exposed to a software, and I had to develop a composition based on the Fibonacci series. So all of that, you start gaining the vocabulary, okay? Any quick questions before I close this video? Does that make sense? Thank you very much. I always call my students my quality control. Yes, so what you want to do, you want to go OER, that stands for Open Educational Resource, and then Professor Marcela Oliva. And then on this video, towards the very middle, talks about precisely this chart. Thank you so much for asking this, because this is the most difficult challenge. This is what is called a paradigm shift, right? Here are the students. I have some contractors, architects. I have some students graduating from our program. And then I have some students that they never even turn on a computer. And then here, I need everybody to learn how to make a space-form composition, right, that follows proportion and that you can be very creative with it. So you guys need to find the perfect ratio between your background and your skill that you're trying to grow. So this is kind of the paradigm shift. It's very time driven. You got to tell me how much you spend with tutorials, how much you spend with your videos. And this is where learning happens. If if the task is very difficult and you have very little background, what happened to the gentleman that was sitting here? He didn't come back. He was frustrated. It was too much. So what happened? I have some students here that they're very well versed already in architecture. Sometimes I even have architects. If the assignment is very simple, the student will be what? Bored. Bored or frustrated. You don't learn. Learning only happens here, somewhere around here, right? You need to have a little bit of adrenaline for challenge, and the task needs to be to your level, right? So thank you very much, and that concludes with video number 1.